Morning, everyone. This is Facts
and Flannels. Just two man friends wearing flannels.
and talking about weird and wild facts. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Doug. Let's get going. Okay, so anyway, back to where we're at. Do you want love or hate?
Oh, yeah. We'll just keep with the theme of hate, I guess. Well,
Okay.
no, he was his friend, right? In your last story? They were friends?
Well, they killed his friend, but they were angry about the drunk, so yeah.
But they were friends. Like, they liked each other.
Yeah.
Essentially. They didn't really hate each other. They just hated each other when they were drunk or when he was drunk. Whatever.
Yeah.
We'll go with the we'll go with the love one. Let's do
love one. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, I'm going to tell you a little story. In 1751, there's a ship from England known as the HMS Dolphin.
1751. Got it.
1751. This ship was commanded by John Byron and a man named Samuel Wallis. I think it's pronounced Wallace. It's Wallallis. So I assume it'd be Wallace. It's probably right. Anyway, she was the first ship to circumnavigate the world twice.
Okay.
So, when people had circumnavigated and stuff like that, but this was the first one to do it twice. So Samuel Wallace was a great captain of this ship. And, it was a big old ship too. It's a full rigged ship, like a full-on sailing ship that would sail around the world. And that was also 1750, so we're still in that colonization period of every major country of Europe is like, what can I find to make mine?
Right.
So why this is actually important. The first circumnavigation doesn't really matter. It was, it was a circumnavigation of the globe. They kind of did a bunch of traveling around. They did all these things. But the second one is where it gets really fun and interesting. Now, in the second circumnavigation of the world, Samuel Wallace and his crew were traveling around. They made it towards what's around where Tahiti is, so Southeast Asia, as you would. They made it to Southeast Asia, and in this roughly Tahiti area, they made friends with locals, sort of. Made friends in the same way that Columbus made friends with the Native Americans. They kind of came in there and said, we're here now. But at the same time, the islanders were pretty friendly to them. So it was kind of a nice little story there of how these things. Now, why does this have to do with what you would do for love? So a lot of the sailors found that the women were very, very friendly to them. And as you would, you find these, colonists, they become friendly and they proceed to start reproducing. They, start, finding love in any different way. And the men started to really, really enjoy this. This became like, yes, I've been at sea since Great Britain to Tahiti and like on a sailboat with a bunch of guys. Like, I found a woman. Great. The women then started being like, well, you need to give me something for it. Prove that you love me. And so the men would start giving things away. They had their personal belongings. They give their personal belongings as a show of love for these women. That eventually stopped becoming pertinent, so the men had to start finding other things they could give to show their love for the women. One of the things that the women really loved was iron. They loved the
iron
metal, like metal, like a metal that they could build with. These men were eventually going to leave, and then the islanders wanted something they could have, they could build with. So men kept looking for more and more iron. So Samuel Wallace eventually discovered that his men were doing this and tried to crack down on it, but he didn't crack down on it soon enough until he discovered that his men were giving them iron to the women for sex, basically. And when he eventually found out about it, it's because he found out when they were taking nails and giving them nails, he's like, why are you, like, where? And then when he found out, where were these nails coming from? The men were taking nails out of the hull of the ship and taking apart his ship to give to the islanders so they could have sex with them and like deconstructing the ship, basically. He eventually stopped that as they sailed away. They're like, we need to get out of here before I don't have a ship to leave the island with. But they were willing to sacrifice their only means of getting off the island for sex. The things you do for love. Which consequently Fun fact. I have no proof of this, but I like to think that's where the term getting nailed got from. Now,
we didn't do research on this. How did you not do research on that?
well, actually, to be fair, I don't know if that's true, but I just like to imagine that's the joke.
No, but that sounds, how can it not be?
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, yeah, basically the trade became so extensive that the ship almost lost its entire physical integrity. And the HMS Dolphin had to sail back to England, and it was decommissioned shortly thereafter because they didn't want to rebuild it. So yeah.
Wow.
So next time you're saying, what would I do to prove my love for somebody?
Would I completely deconstruct the boat that's going to be the only thing to take me off this island?
From Tahiti to Great Britain. Like, I mean,
Right.
you have to go a long way. That's not like a...
It's not like a little life raft trip.
Yeah. Like a swim across the pond. Like, you're literally going to... You're physically damaging your chances of survival for sex. There you go. HMS Dolphin.
Wow. Kudos to the women. Kudos to those women.
The Islanders knew what they were doing. Like, they were like, you know what can we do from this? Like, they learned. They were...
Kudos. Seriously, that's, instead of just like, I don't know. That could have been a whole different story,
Yeah.
But they were like, get out of here. This is my body. Like, you're going to give me something.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's good. Good for them.
Give me something, but not smallpox.
Yeah. Probably good.
Probably got more than smallpox.
Anywho, I've always hated that saying, but I say it.
Anywho,
I hate it, and I always say it, and it's just like something I just can't stop.
You know what expression I don't really like, but I always say is, it is what it is. I don't like saying that. I say that, but I don't. That expression drives me insane. Just like, well, it is what it is. Like, is it? Most of the time it is.
I say it too.
It just feels like such like a weird phrase. Like, it is what it is.
Right. You're just accepting whatever it is that happened, whatever it is that it is.
Yeah. It feels like it's like turning to like a way more meta conversation of it is what it is it.
If it is.
If it isn't, then it is what it isn't. And if it isn't what it is, then you've changed it.
All right, so we're done here for today. That'll be a good starting point. I hope people watch our videos. If you do, we are Facts and Flannels. Just
if you've got anything that we said wrong, please do comment, because I do.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of information everywhere, and you can try to do research on the source of your information, but you just never know what you read. So we're just telling you the things that we've done research on and some cool facts, some weird and wild stuff. If you're
as it becomes fall, we'll be wearing more flannels.
Yeah, and if you're an expert in any of these topics, please give us more information. We would love to hear them.
Yeah, we would. Thank you, everybody, and we really appreciate everything.
See you next time, Doug.
See you next time, Ryan.
Bye.